Hey everybody, I'm Joey here with Bosse Online. Going to give you a quick tutorial on just a 1-4-5 chord progression. So if you've been playing music for a little bit, that might be a sort of term you've heard. Maybe you've heard someone say 1-4-5 or 1-6-4-5, some variant of that where they say sort of numbers in a sequence, and you might not be quite sure what someone means by that, so we're just going to talk through that. So 1-4-5 is just referring to our intervals and where we are in our key, right? So we're going to just start with being in the key of C. You can find C on your piano based on being directly to the left of those two black keys in sets of 3 and sets of 2. There's going to be C. So our C scale, C major scale, pretty straightforward. Just uses all of our white keys, and all of our chords within the key of C use those notes. So we have our C, D minor, E minor, F major, G, A minor, B diminished, up to C, right? So what is 1-4-5? Well, we already know that 1 is C. If we go from C being 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4. So we have our 1, our 4, and after 4 is 5. So G is 5. C, F, G, and that'll be true no matter what key you're in, right? If you're in A, D, E, right? It's always going to be consistent across the board in terms of what that starting note is. So based on our root, if we have sort of C as 1, we're always going to have our triads, our chords, be 1, 3, 5. The first finger, third finger, middle finger, and those are just going to be on whichever scale degree sort of relative to that starting point, right? So if you were in A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Pretty straightforward across the board. So 1, 3, 5 on C. Then we remember number 4 is F, 3 is A, 5 is C, and then we just move every note up by 1 for that 5, right? But one other thing we can talk through, that movement, going from C all the way up to F, and then up to G, it's kind of a whole thing. That's a bit more movement than we might want as a player. So we're going to use a little bit of voice leading, using something that we like to call inversions in order to make that progression a little bit more straightforward to play. So we start with C, E, G. Our second chord, F, A, C, reuses that same note as C. So when we're in what we call root position, that's where we start with our bottommost note, our leftmost note being the root of the chord, in this case F. But we're actually going to switch. We're going to do what we call inverting that chord, where we take that C, move it down the octave so that we can play our F right there. So that's a lot closer to C than, right? We only have to move the 3 and 5 up by 1 note each. And following that same logic, we can take that same shape, move it up 1 note for that same inversion in G, right? Where we're taking the D, what would be the 5 of G, and moving it down that octave. So, thanks for watching.